Okay.
Oh, sounds good.
Alrighty, and we are live.
All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome into the Green Zone, hosted by me, Sean Redden. As always, joined with AJ, who I
What's
just
up,
was
Chiefs?
told he's doing minimal talking today, so we're not going to get to hear from the Prop Beaver a lot today. So apologize, it's going to be a lot of me. Yeah, again, sorry we were off last week. You know, stuff happens in life, and we couldn't make it work, but we're back this week, and hopefully going forward every week. That being said, let's get into last week's crumbs of the week. Starting off with the Broncos and Melvin Butterfingers Gordon. First of all, Coach Hack looked like he actually turned this offense around last week, so I got to give him a little credit there. But Melvin Gordon cannot stop fumbling the football. He has as good a grasp on the football as Tom Brady has on marriage at the moment. It's just pitiful. Hold on to the goddamn ball, Melvin. Cost us a cover in that game versus the Raiders. Secondly, the Bears. I'm an idiot. I took them +3. I backed a terrible team. That's on me. But Justin Fields, 11 for 22. 174 yards and 0 touchdowns. Air Force Academy runs a better efficient offense than the Chicago Bears. Justin Fields is a top 10 pick out of Ohio State, and he wouldn't even sniff the starting lineup if he was at Ohio State right now with CJ Stroud. He has been awful, and so has this Bears offense. And then lastly, the 49ers and the Rams. 49ers definitely covered. So shout out to them for that. But a lot of people, you know, there's guys that are in the boobs. There's guys that are in the ass. Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan get their rocks off by watching kickers kick field goals. They are offensive gurus. They put together a great game plan, but they are both terrible at in-game decisions, and nobody coaches more conservative than them. They absolutely love kicking a field goal when they should be going for the touchdown, not aggressive at all. So Kyle Shanahan and Sean McVay make the crumb of the list this week. But as always, nobody forced me to take the Denver Broncos. Nobody forced me to take the Chicago Bears. And nobody forced me to take the over in the 49ers Rams. So the biggest crumb in the NFL for week 4 was me, Sean Redden.
No shocks here. No shocks here.
All right, now getting into this week's game, starting off tomorrow night, the Colts and Broncos. Jonathan Taylor was just ruled out here. I honestly don't think it matters. I know that's weird to say with a player who's coming off the Offensive Player of the Year award and a running back that's the caliber of Jonathan Taylor, but he hasn't been doing shit this year. This offense has been really stagnant from a running perspective. And I really don't know what I'm going to do in this game yet, to be honest. I looked at the under 42.5, but this Broncos offense, like I said, looked like they kind of got it going last week. That being said, I'm hoping this Taylor news pushes this number out even further. So I haven't made a bet in this game yet. I'm hoping to maybe catch a 4 here with the Colts, but right now I'm leaning the under and I'm leaning towards the dog and taking the points with the Colts here on Thursday Night Football.
Demonstration of Wirecast.
All right, so Colts and the under. On to the next game. On to Jolly O London.
Yeah. Apparently, I don't know what all America is famous for exporting, but apparently one of their biggest exports is terrible football, because this is the first time in history that the two teams meeting in London are going to both be over 500. No wonder the Queen checked out early. Little did she know that she was going to get this treat. That being said, this is one of the bets I've already placed this week. I'm all over the Packers here. I got it at -8. I think it's currently sitting at 8.5. I would still lay it at 8.5, honestly. Patriots were one of my favorite bets last week versus this Packers team. This Giants O-line is not up to the caliber of the Patriots last week. Saquon has been going off, and I think he can still have success on the ground game. But Daniel Jones left that game with an ankle injury. He did come back at the end, but he is not going to be 100% if he does play. And what's Daniel Jones' biggest strength? His mobility. Nobody wants him to stand in the pocket and be a drop back passer and stand in the pocket. they want him out, get him on the roll, hitting guys on the run, and also using his legs to pick up first downs. He's not going to be able to do that if he's hobbled with an ankle injury. And if he can't go, it's going to be Davis Mills getting the call up from the practice squad to start this game in London. Absolutely love the Packers in this spot. I already bet it here because I think there's a chance if Daniel Jones is ruled out, then this number even climbs to like 9.5, 10. So I wanted to get ahead of the number here. But I am on the Packers all day in this game. Lions and the Patriots. This is going to be super quick. I could not be any more disinterested in this one at the moment. Who knows? Is Mac Jones going to play? Are we getting Bailey Zappi in this game? And then the Lions were missing their entire offense last week, but it didn't really matter. All they had was Jared Goff and TJ Hawkinson, and it worked out for them, putting up 45 freaking points versus the Seahawks. That being said, until I see these injury reports come out and see who's actually in or out, I can't give you an opinion on this game either way. Steelers at the Bills. Never, ever do I feel comfortable or good about laying 2 touchdowns in an NFL game. I don't care who the opponents are. That being said, I really do like the under here. Under 46.5. It's Kenny Pickett making his NFL debut. Well, starting debut. We know he came in last week, but he's making his starting debut versus the #1 passing defense in the NFL. I think this is going to be a lot of one-sided scoring here in this one. And I think I can't see this number. The Bills, in my opinion, would have to score 35 or 40 to hit this over in this game. So I feel comfortable taking the under 46.5 here. All right, Dolphins and the Jets here. And this is one of the other bets that I've already placed this week. I am all over the Dolphins -3 here. I understand the Jets are exceeding expectations so far. They're sitting at 2-2.
This is a demonstration
And
of Wirecast.
the Dolphins obviously lost Tua. They're going to be starting Teddy Bridgewater this week. That being said, I just think they're so much more talented. Jalen Waddle, I don't think Bridgewater is that big of a drop-off from Tua. And Jalen Waddle and Tyreek Hill should be able to still expose the hole in this Jets secondary. And this D-line, Xavier Howard is probably going to be out, which hurts the secondary with Byron Jones still being out. But this Dolphins D-line should be able to get after Zach Wilson here in this one. And it's still, Wilson looked okay last week. Did come through with the wins. He went 5 for 5 on the final drive, which is really impressive to lead them to the victory. That being said, I think this Dolphins D-line can get after him here. And I don't think you're going to see that big of a drop-off in the Dolphins offense with these 2 weapons. I'm gladly take the -3 here with the Dolphins and feel really good about it. Falcons and the Bucks. The Bucks are 8.5-point favorites, and I haven't placed the bet yet, but it would be laying the 8.5 here or nothing in my opinion. Falcons have exceeded expectations so far. Honestly, Arthur Smith, as much of an idiot I think he is for not getting Kyle Pitts involved in the pass game, they're winning games, so it's hard to really knock what he's doing offensively. But this Bucks team obviously looked like shit on Sunday Night Football versus the Chiefs, but Mahomes looked like Houdini out there. I still think the Bucks are at worst the second best team in the NFC at the moment. Their offense is getting healthier with Godwin, Julio Jones coming back from injury, and their defense is still lights out. I thought they actually played pretty well last week. The fumbled kickoff return basically handed the Chiefs a touchdown here, and that was basically the difference in the game. I expect Brady to be able to get to these weapons. He's going to be focused now that he doesn't have a wife and all that. He's more focused on football. No, I'm just kidding. But seriously, I think the Bucks are going to win this game by double digits here. It would never be the Falcons for me. Seahawks at the Saints. I do want to see who the Saints are going to be getting back here in this one. If they're going to be able to get Michael Thomas back and Alvin Kamara back to help this offense out. But Seattle's coming off an offensive explosion here in this one. And I feel like people are going to be feeling the love here. I think this is a great spot for the Saints here. It's a back-to-earth reality check here for Geno Smith and the Seattle offense. This Saints defense is a far cry. The Detroit Lions defense is a far cry away from this New Orleans Saints defense. It's night and day talent-wise and their efficiency. I think the Saints under a touchdown. I roll, but I want to see who they're getting back on the offensive side of the ball. Texans and the Jaguars. Again, this is another game where I haven't placed a bet yet, but it would be the Jaguars or nothing for me in this one. I feel like a lot of people are going to be looking at that, catching a 7 with the Texans and liking it. The Texans weren't ever in that game versus the Chargers last week. They almost came back and covered, but the Chargers were blowing that game and then ended up covering in the end. Anyway, the Jaguars played a slot fest in Philly. That's where I'm at. It was shitty weather all around, windy, rainy. I feel like you got to throw that performance out of the window. I mean, Trevor Lawrence, 4 fumbles. I mean, you're never going to get that again for the most part. And this Jaguars defense, also, this Texans line doesn't have a line like the Eagles offensive line does. The Jaguars defense has been great against the run all year. I feel like last week was an anomaly with the Eagles O-line and then the running game that they were able to mix in, Sanders, Gainwell, and then obviously Jalen Hurts running the ball as well. I think this Jags D is still very good. I wouldn't fade them just off of the performance from last week. And this Jaguars offense should be in a get-right spot here in better weather than they had in Philly. I think the Jaguars, if they're going to show and take that next step to where they're actually a pretty good team and compete for the AFC South, you have to dominate games like this versus bad teams. And I feel like this is going to be a real big prove-it spot on how we should rate the Jaguars teams going forward. Titans and Washington. Again, this is another game where I really don't know what I'm doing with this yet, but I do think I'm going to be on the over 42.5 here in this one. Both of these defenses are atrocious. The Titans are giving up 410 yards per game, while the Commanders are giving up 385. Derrick Henry should be able to run the ball straight through the heart of this Commanders defense. Robert Woods should be able to have a good game here versus this Washington secondary that's been getting up all year. And then this Titans defense on the flip side, Antonio Gibson. I don't think we're going to see Brian Robinson this game, so it's going to be the Antonio Gibson show in the backfield. I think he should have a good game versus this Titans front. And Carson Wentz, as long as he's not turning the ball over, holding onto the ball and taking sacks, which shouldn't be a problem versus lackluster Titans pass rush, I think he's going to be able to have time and sling the ball down the field to these weapons, and I could easily see this game flying over 42.5.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
The Bears at the Vikings. If you missed a crumb of the week segment, I am auto-fading this Bears offense. I would definitely lay the 7 here with the Vikings. I haven't placed it yet, but I'm almost 90% sure I'm going to be laying the 7 with the Vikings here. This Vikings secondary is how you can have them on offense. Their secondary is really bad. They get beat by the pass, but Justin Fields literally throws 8 passes a game. It feels like this is a team that's going to hit you over the top with big plays. They should be able to slow down this Bears run game, even if David Montgomery is somehow back for the Bears this week. Him and Herbert should be stuffed with this Vikings front 7. And I think Kirk Cousins, Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen are going to have a field day on this Bears team. I just don't see how the Bears score, honestly. I think if the Vikings get to 20-24 in this game, this is going to be an easy cover. Chargers and the Browns, I would only lay the 2.5 with the Chargers here. This Browns team is kind of playing above their heads. I feel like defense has been hit and kind of exposed a lot in the early weeks. And I feel like this Chargers team, they do have a shit ton of injuries. I'll give you that. But 2.5 here versus this Cleveland Browns team with Jacoby Brissett and Myles Garrett is probably not going to be in the lineup again after his car accident. I just feel like this Chargers team they do have a lot of injuries, but they're getting undervalued here. This is still a very good roster. Yes, they lost Bosa, but they still have Khalil Mack. They still have a very stout defense. And then their offense is still going to put up points. They're just too talented here. I think 2.5 is too short here. I just feel like the Chargers are getting undervalued in the market due to all their injuries. And then we have the 49ers and the Panthers. And this is going to probably be my hate myself game of the week, because I think I'm going to be on the Panthers plus 6.5. I'm holding out hope that people saw that performance on Monday night, and we're going to come in and I can get the Panthers at a 7. I would love it at a 7, but I would lean the Panthers plus 6.5 here. Jimmy G's awesome. He banked cash for us on Monday night. He's awesome versus the Rams. But that's it. He's awesome versus the Rams, not the Carolina Panthers or the rest of the NFL. I'm still fading this 49ers offense. Deebo Samuel had a great game last week. But this Panthers defense, I hate that this Panthers offense, I hate the fact that I had to bank on Baker Mayfield, who apparently is an NFL quarterback and doesn't know that there's drills you can do to avoid batted balls. Told a reporter, if you have a drill that works on that, let me know. Do you watch any offseason clips at all, Baker? That being said, this Panthers defense is very good. I think they're going to be able to limit this 49ers offense, get after Jimmy G, especially with Trent Williams out of the lineup. Brian Burns has been having a very good season off the edge for the Panthers here. I expect this to be a really low-scoring game, and I'm catching almost a touchdown here in a game with a low total. I'm almost always going to bet the dog in that situation.
This is a demonstration of Wirecast.
And then we have the Rams and the Cowboys here. As an Eagles fan, I hate myself, but I think I would take the 5.5 here with the Cowboys, and I would take the under 43.5. Have you watched this Rams team all year? They played in my opinion, two good defenses so far in the 49ers and the Buffalo Bills. And Matthew Stafford was harassed, under pressure, and on his ass all night. What's going to happen now that Micah Parsons, DeMarcus Lawrence, and this Cowboys defense is coming to town? I think he's going to be the same thing, harassed, under pressure, and on his ass a lot in this game. And the Cowboys offense, like Cooper Rush, is getting it done. Hasn't lost a game as a starter. He's been very good. He's still not super talented to the point where I'm going to keep expecting big plays out of him. Gallup coming back is huge for this Cowboys offense. But this Cowboys D-line and this secondary is going to be a big reason on why I'm taking the Cowboys here. It's Micah Parsons versus this god-awful Rams O-line. Eagles at the Cardinals. Again, this is a bet I've already placed. I'm on the Eagles minus 5.5 here. I think this line needs to be 6.5. I bet it a couple days ago at 5. I don't know if that number is going to come back because I think the Eagles are going to get a positive injury report as we move closer to the weekend. I'm talking around town here is that Darius Slay is likely to play. And even if Jordan Mailata, the left tackle for the Eagles, can't go, Andre Dillard, who was a former first-round pick and has been decently serviceable for the team, he's been out the past couple weeks. His practice window has been activated, and there is a chance that he would be able to go in Mailata's absence this week. But this Cardinals team is awful. Kingsbury, I think, is going to be fired at the end of the season. And I understand they beat the Panthers last week, but that's the Carolina Panthers. We're not talking about the Philadelphia Eagles, who are just dominating teams on both sides of the ball week in and week out. Last time they played in Arizona, it was a shootout. I'm expecting to see an exciting game again, but I have to roll with the Eagles here until they prove to me otherwise, especially against the Cardinals team that I think is pretty fraudulent. Sunday Night Football now, the Bengals and the Ravens. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do with this game yet. I can't confidently give you a pick in this one, but just off of first glance, I'm going to dive in to these tomorrow and Friday as well is really when I go in for the NFL. But just first glance, I would probably take the points here with the Bengals, but again, it's just a lean. I have to look at it more. But it's hard to trust this Ravens team right now. I don't think they looked that good week 1 versus the Jets, even though they covered that number. The Jets were almost even with them on a yards per play basis. And then they followed it up with blowing a multiple 3-score lead to the Dolphins. And then they just blew a 3-score lead to the Buffalo Bills last week as well. So maybe the motive in this game is hope the Ravens get out to a lead, and then you come back and bet the Bengals money line at a big number. But I can't predict that now. But that being said, I'm definitely leaning the Bengals here plus the points versus a Ravens team that just can't seem to finish games. And Monday Night Football, Raiders and Chiefs. Raiders beat the Broncos last week. Looked pretty good. Doing it, I think there was a couple of costly turnovers by the Broncos that really sealed the deal for them. But that being said, Again, I don't have a play in this game officially yet, but it would be the Chiefs or nothing as of right now in this game for me. AFC West games, I had a strategy in my head that with this, how talented these teams are in this division, I was going to probably play the home team in all these matchups. I went against myself last week, but I took the Broncos in Las Vegas, and it cost me. So I'm leaning the Chiefs here -7. I just think they're so much better than the Raiders talent-wise, and they are at home. But it's going to remain to be seen once I look at the numbers more to make a definitive pick in this game.
That is all, Chiefs.
I was about to say, Abib, I don't know if you're still here or not.
Yeah, no, that's the last game we got for you. I saw a comment basically asking if these are the VIP picks. No, this is Sean going over the early leans with you guys, getting the juices flowing for this Sunday, getting some thoughts out there. But Sean, with Kyle, with myself, with Scoop, we put the ticket together in the morning or Saturday night. So yeah, that'll be coming Sunday, and that comes with all the parlays and all the bonus stuff. So no need to fight, Chiefs. No fighting in the comments. We're all here together. We're all here to get some money. That's the end of today's show.
There's just typically games because I look at the next week's late Sunday night and then again early Monday morning, and I typically place like 2 to 3 bets every Monday. Trying to get ahead of the number, which way I think the market's going to move. So then we just do this midweek show to show early lines, and then if I do bets that I already placed and you guys want to run with that info, then we just want to put it out there. But yeah, nothing's finalized until Sunday with the final ticket, and then of course our pick show with me, Beaver, and Kyle Sunday mornings.
Yes, sir. So that is all for today, Chiefs. This will be the end of the stream. Hope everybody has a blessed Wednesday. We got a college football bet already up on the channel. And then we're also going to have some tennis picks from Jess. So see you guys tomorrow. We'll have some videos coming soon.